So far, we've seen that the social media landscape is vast and consists of many different platforms. And we know social media platforms provide great opportunities for marketers to connect with customers and share their message. In order to find your audience and to make a real connection with them, it helps to understand the main platforms people use. By the end of this video, you will have a picture of the social media landscape and the different ways in which you can categorize the many social media sites. Marketers want to be where their customers are. Given the large reach of some social networks, chances are marketers can find their audience in the biggest social networks. Here's an overview of the most used social media platforms globally as compiled by Hootsuite, and we are Social, a social marketing agency. Facebook is by far the largest network with over 2.4 billion users worldwide. It's followed by YouTube. WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger, both owned by Facebook, are the largest messaging-focused platforms. The Chinese platform WeChat closes out the top 5. It started as a messaging platform, but now offers a lot more than just chat. Instagram, also part of the Facebook family, is another big platform with over 1 billion users. TikTok, a very fast-growing video-based network known as Douyin in China, follows. QQ, Zone, and Sina are primarily used in China. The conversation platform Reddit follows, and then Snapchat, Twitter, and Pinterest, and finally Chinese video sharing platform, Kuaishou. Later in this module, we will take a closer look at most of these platforms to help you get a better feel for how they work and how marketers use them. Aside from the size of the audience of these different networks, it's important for marketers to consider the demographics of the people that use these platforms. Understanding the demographics of the users of the different networks will help marketers choose the social media where most of their customers are active. To give you an idea, I've mapped the age and gender distribution for some of the most popular networks for the US, based on a study from the Pew Research Center. As you can see, different products appeal more or less to different age groups. YouTube and Facebook are used by people of almost any age group. 60% of people between the ages of 18 and 29 use Snapchat, but Snapchat sees little usage from older age groups. Instagram also skews younger, but we do see that 40% of people between the ages of 30 and 49 use the platform as well. Twitter reaches a much smaller audience overall with a skew towards the younger age group. LinkedIn sees slightly more adoption among the 30 to 49-year-olds, an effect of its specific focus on a professional audience. Pinterest, while smaller, has an equal reach among the under 30 and the under 40 audiences. When it comes to gender, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter have a pretty similar reach among men and women. Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram all skew slightly female. Pinterest is a clear outlier with 41% reach among women and only 16% reach among men. So far, we've looked at the size of the different networks and the age and gender distribution. There's another factor that I like to consider when I think about the distinction between the different social media platforms, and that's the intensity with which its audience uses them. YouTube and Facebook see the most intense use from their audiences, with users spending on average 40 or 35 minutes respectively per day on these platforms. Snapchat and Instagram follow. Time spent on LinkedIn and Pinterest is lower, but it's still substantial. Twitter, however, sees limited interaction from its user base on average, even though there's a smaller group of very intense users. We discussed the biggest platforms, but of course there are many more. As we saw in Fred Kovacs's work, you could categorize the different social media platforms by their specific focus. For instance, some focus on publishing, others on sharing, messaging, discussing, and collaborating or networking. You could also categorize social media based on the specific audiences and interests they tailor to. Niche platforms like Behance, for instance, focus on bringing artists together. A platform like Twitch is focused on gamers and house on architects and designers or people who are building or improving their house. Niche groups like these can be very attractive to marketers depending on the product or service they sell. So understanding which platforms operate in your industry or space can help you find your customer base. There are many different ways to describe and categorize social media sites, but there are few platforms that you will need to understand as a social media marketer today. In what follows, we will give you an overview of the most important social media platforms, who their users are, and what they use them for. And we'll also look at the opportunities they offer for marketers